Yo, what's good? My name is Rodney and this is my 180SX 1996, and I think personally this is the pinnacle of all JDM classics. And I might be biased here, but pop-up lights, rear-wheel drive, SR20, 4-cylinder, turbocharged, did I say rear-wheel drive? 5-speed manual. Like, what more could you want for a daily driver or a weekend sports car or a track car? It's just so versatile. I'm going to start with the outside and then we'll go into the inside and talk about the mechanics and the performance aspects, suspension, the handling. But first, a quick overview of why this car and why it means so much to me. Now, me personally, I've been mucking around with cars for the past 10 years, and the 180SX in itself, I've bought this car a total of 5-6 times now, and this car in particular is the very first 180 that I bought in 2016, 2017, somewhere around there, and I've managed to buy it back. And here it is in its final form. When I say final form, there's still a lot of flaws and stuff that I still want to do about it, but I just want to do a quick overview. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're an existing OG, man, you already know, so welcome back. But we're back in the game now, creating content. So starting with the exterior. Now, with this car, the Type X kit is just where it's at. So starting from the front bar, we've got a Type X front bumper, Type X lip. Shout out to Boosted International for these Type X indicators. Now these are aftermarket and they run as a parking light, but also as an indicator as well. Now my personal favorite part about this car is the pop-up lights. And I've done the sleepy eye mod to this so you can actually angle it down. And at the same time, I've also enabled a switch so I can hang it down low, but also keep the lights on too. So it gives like this spotlight effect. I can go into a lot more details there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, but let's continue on with the exterior. In terms of the kit, it's running an Origin side skirts, hot rod rear, Type X wing, and some random 20mm pumped fiberglass guards at the front. And that's the exterior, very basically. Moving on to performance. Come on, dude, come on. So here we've got a built SR20 2-liter, fully forged with CP pistons, with Kelford cams, with all the bearings, bits and bobs, this and that. It's even got Teflon coated pistons because the cylinder was done a bit, fuck, I don't even know how to put this into words, bro. Like the cylinder was done a bit wider, so the pistons had to be Teflon coated. Long story short, when I bought the car, the engine had been rebuilt, but it wasn't actually rebuilt properly. So I'll save that story for another time, but basically we're going to focus mainly on the build itself. So built SR20 engine, fully built in and out. The turbocharger is a 2860 GT 2860 RS, which is a very spoolie, also known as a disco potato. Ignition wise, we're running PRP, Platinum Racing product, R35 GTR coil packs. In terms of a fuel system, these are 1000 cc injectors running off a Tarx top feed fuel rail, running into a TurboSmart fuel pressure regulator. Now, the engine is tuned with a Link G4 ECU. And in terms of everything else, like cooling, Phoenix radiator, Blitz front mount intercooler, the intake is just an Apexi pod filter running straight into an Apexi arm there as well, going straight into the turbo. Chase Bay's power steering reservoir, and the reason I bring that up is it's running a D-Max S14 power steering rack with all braided power steering lines as well. Rebuilt power steering pump, water pump, air conditioning's using the OG. Yes, this car has fully functioning aircon. I actually daily this car into the city as well. So it's true, tried, true, tested setup that can actually drive from A to B to C. Z32 fuel filter. I'm just kind of going a bit sporadic at this point. All sorts of hoses, bits and bobs, this and that. One of my favorite things here is this G Corporation dipstick holder, which kind of holds it in place. So any sort of crankcase pressure prevents the stick from coming up. Shout out to Jimmy for showing me that. Now, this is an ATP oil catch can setup. Now, the way this works is any sort of crankcase pressure in the top there, any sort of oil, instead of feeding back through the turbo and causing all sorts of oil and gunk to go through the intake system, it all just gets pumped up through here and held in the catch can. And I believe the way I've set it up is to feed right back into the crankcase port at the bottom. That's a whole different video. I did so much research to actually go through with this and the routing of the way I've done it. But basically, depending on if you've got a VCT S13 or SR20 versus a non-VCT SR20, the ports that are on the rocker cover are slightly different. So this is being the non-VCT, it's got the 2 ports, but if you have a VCT, there's 3. Anyway, diving into unnecessary details here. Performance-wise, we're pushing 220 kilowatts on 18 PSI. Isn't it? No, 210 kilowatts on 18 PSI. So nothing crazy in terms of power, but the torque came up magnificent at something like 600, 700 Newton meters of torque, which is ridiculous. So really nice little punchy SR20 running in here. And as you can see from the engine bay, I've spent a lot of time here to keep like a black and chrome consistent theme going. Still a lot of bit of work to do, but I'm very pleased with the way it's come through so far in terms of performance. Now, moving on to the good stuff, suspension and driveline. But before I do, I guess talking about more the driveline side of things, it's running a 5-speed standard SR20 gearbox, which is native to the S13 180s. I think it's on its way out, so I'm probably going to need to put a 6-speed in down the track, or back into another 5-speed again. And in terms of differential, it's running a 2-way Cusco differential, so very snappy, likes to get sideways. So this is a purpose-built street/drift car. Now, talking about the suspension side of things, in the back we're running, I actually forgot, hard race. We're running hard race camber toe. I don't know why I started with the control arms to begin with, but we're running hard race camber and toe. Then coilovers, we're running, what are they? The purple ones. They're cool Japanese ones. I forgot the name. Hey, D-Max purple coilovers. This face track's annoying me, bro. Let me see if I can turn that off. Okay, so that's that. New axles, this, that. Let me see if I can show you all the front. Now the front is really where all the magic happens when it comes to drift suspension. So the fronts, suspension wise, we're running 25 mil longer than stock, which are actually S15 low control arms, which is actually 15 mil extra S15 LCAs. It's running GK Tech hooked caster arm. It is also running PC Works drift knuckle and something else. Very basic setup in terms of getting lock into your car. I guess, when I say basic, more like moderate to, yeah, it gets the job done. What else am I missing? Exhaust. One of my personal favorites things to do on my cars and exhaust is a nice little single tip exit as pictured here. And I think it just looks real spicy. I think it's a 3-inch tip, but it looks absolutely fat. Now, where the magic really happens is the interior. And I'm a strong believer that if you're not investing into your interior, what's the point, bro? You spend most of the time inside the car, so you want to have a good time inside the car, right? So let's talk about interior. Let's go in here, POV, what it looks like to step into this thing through the driver's seat. Boom. The first thing you kind of notice is G Corporation black and grey floor mats. My personal favorite Evo 8 MR Recaro seats. I'm gonna turn the beeping off. These are from an Mitsubishi Evolution 8 MR. Pretty hard to come across, but more so hard to get the actual rails that suit. It's not rocket science, but it just requires a bit of customization to get it to fit. So these are Crank Racing Motorsports, I believe, in Queensland. I believe they import this from overseas, and you can make it work. And you can slide them, you can recline them, being Recaros. I think personally, being a drift car slash street car, you needed something with a bit of bucket bolster, but also you wanted that street comfort as well. Now, moving on to the actual, let's take a seat and have a look, mate. Let's have a geeze, mate. Close this door. Boom. So, 90 steering wheel. I'm a huge fan of 90 steering wheels because, I don't know, it just brings a whole different element to the car, and just the drivability is just so nice and relaxing. And here we've got the standard handbrake with a little pink pin on the edge here. Is to resemble a bit of a knob situation, but let's put that aside for now. We've also got, I think it's a Yashiro factory shifter. I've also got like one of those metal ones. I forgot what it's called, but they're cool to go on too. And obviously, you've probably noticed this big dog over here. Yes, sir. We got a GK Tech Hydro handbrake. Right. This means I'm running a dual caliper setup up the rear. So my standard calipers are for my standard brakes. Then I've got a second set of calipers purely to run this as well. Yeah, I just wanted to go all out with this thing, hey, just to have everything ticked off the list. What I'm going to do now is actually turn these lights on. Oh, actually, where the fuck are the keys, mate? If I just pop the keys in, I'm going to show you guys where the real magic kind of happens. Actually, I've got to show you guys this, right? Hold on, let me turn this shit off. All right, so what I've done here on the side is, hell yeah, fucking fast, cue the Fast and Furious fucking music, bro. Oh, what's in here, mate? Fucking boom. So here I've got water temp, oil pressure gauge, just some essentials to be monitoring while you're driving. It does make a beeping sound if it's below pressure. Obviously the car hasn't started yet. And also temperature wise as well, you can preset sort of sounds and stuff. So when you're driving, at least you can keep an eye on these kind of things. Also, I've got the AFR gauge here. This measures the air to fuel ratio. This is by AEM. GFB boost controller isn't actually really active. This is just more of like a boost reading gauge because I had this before, but now I just kind of keep it there as like a monitoring thing so I can see the amount of boost that I'm running digitally. Down the track, I'll probably get something else. Sony Apple CarPlay, absolutely essential in this day and age to have Apple CarPlay and all this sort of sound. I put like a basic speaker setup in as well. Man, I like to keep my interior super clear, and something I'm really proud of in this car is the uncracked dash. These things are rare as hen's teeth, and I think on a drift car especially, you'll notice that a lot of interiors are quite not looked after, but I'm a real finicky and particular when it comes to interiors. Shout out to my boy Eames for this 180SX scented thing. Yeah, that's the interior in a nutshell. Very stock standard. Other than that, the back seat's just full of stuff. Try to keep it as functional as possible, because what's the point of having a non-functional car, right? You want everything to work. Aircon, heating, all that stuff works. And one of my personal favorites, boys, girls, about this car is the fact you got keyless entry, lock, unlock, and then hell yeah, remote start, brother. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Love it. Oh, I forgot to even talk about the wheels. So wheel wise, at the front, R33 GTR pair up front, and this Blitz Technospeed Z2s. It just got dark real quick, but if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Guys, I'm creating this exclusive community. It's gonna be for people that wanna get ahead in life, that wanna build mad cars, that wanna look after their wealth, health, happiness, and take their level of life to the next level. So if you're interested, shoot me a DM saying g'day. My Instagram is _Rodney Sean. Would love to have a chat with you. Until then, see you in the next video.